Good morning from North Bay, Ontario, Canada. As you see, some of the winter activities still going on. The ice fishermen out there over Lake Nipissing. One of two lakes, Lake Trout, also has North Bay sandwiched between the two lakes here in the northern Ontario city. The North Bay Memorial Gardens is where the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018 are taking place. We are into session 9, a full slate of games on tap for you this morning. Our feature game will be China versus Japan, an all-Asian matchup. These teams trying to position themselves to get for a playoff run. As the teams make their way in. Introduced here into the Gardens. No important games. Every game crucial. Top 6 make the playoffs out of the 13-team field for the first time at a World Championship. Customary handshake prior to the game between these two familiar foes, Japan and China. Let's meet the teams. For China, their lead, Yan Hui. Second, Jiang Jindi. Their third, Wang Rui. And skipped by Zhang Yilun. They will be taking on Team Japan, been moving their lineup all over. This is the one today, their lead, Arisa Kotani. Second, her sister, Yuna Kotani. The third, Kaho Onodera. Skipped by Tori Kawana. As we look at all 4 sheets of ice here, will be in action here, as it will be all the way through till Friday evening to determine the playoff teams. Let's look at the standings now coming into today's play. Sweden and Canada, the only unbeatens left. Canada a half game back. Japan, Korea, 3-1. Czech Republic, Russia, 3-2. Then the 3 lost teams, China, Italy, Switzerland, and the US at 2-3. Denmark got their first win yesterday. They're at 1-3. And Germany and Scotland both looking for win number 1. On sheet A here in session 9, Italy takes on Korea, while on sheet B is our feature game, China against Japan. Sheet C is a battle of those winless teams. One will get there first, Scotland or Germany, and Canada takes on Denmark on sheet D. Thanks for tuning in. I am Luke Coley, joined this morning with Hans Frauenlob, and it will be a fun morning. These two nations know each other quite well. You're fairly familiar, Hans, with the Pacific region teams. And it should be an aggressive battle between these two squads.
Yeah, good morning, Luke. And yeah, it should very much be an entertaining match. Both of these teams representing their countries, not the teams that most are familiar with internationally. Japan winning a bronze medal at the recent Winter Olympics. Satsuki Fujisawa's team accomplished that for Japan. This is a younger Japanese team, won the recent All-Japan National Championship. Tori Kawana and her team, and they're performing very, very well so far in this tournament. They're at 3-1. They're right in the playoff frame. And Jiang Yilun and her team from China, we're used to seeing Wang Binyu at international level and being an Olympic medalist. But again, the next generation of Chinese curling coming onto the fore here, Luke, and they had a big win yesterday, a huge comeback win against Russia. So they're keeping their playoff hopes alive as well. Yeah,
they sit at 2-3, Japan 3-1. So right in that mix. We're thinking in a 12-team round or 12-game round robin. 5 losses, maybe at the most. Probably 4 is safe.
I think so.
There's no precedent to determine, but
exactly.
We'll determine. It is a Tuesday morning in North Bay, as we see China having the red stones, Japan with the yellow, and it is Japan will have last stone in this first end.
So the ice fishing in the intro. It's a crisp -16 this morning in North Bay.
Nice and early for them to get out there and do some ice fishing. Yan Hui, 22-year-old lead. He's at 75%. Well, we've seen Japan a few times, and I've liked when they've done this. They haven't wasted any time. They'll go put up the corner guard.
Yeah, that's fantastic. This is lead player Arisa Kotani getting it underway for Japan. One of their first international appearances of consequence, but no fear. They're really going for it, and you got to like it. Showing confidence, and we've seen this from a lot of the teams in the Pacific Asia region. You think of Young Kim's Korean team, very similar. Very confident with playing with lots of rocks in play, and pays off for them a lot.
Well, sometimes you may not think some of their calls, you'll see, get on, you may question, well, why are they playing this? It's not the, for lack of better terms, the conventional call. The one that you see a lot of teams play throughout, that they're thinking a little different. They have no problem playing some a little bit, maybe a little higher risk shots, some unconventional shots, and keeps your opponent guessing when they don't know what you're going to play.
Well, for sure, Luke, and I think that's just a reflection of the confidence that they have in their shot-making ability. These teams train a lot, they practice a lot. They're confident that any shot they call they can make, whether it's a 15-foot run back, whether it's a corner freeze. So if the situation feels right to make that play, they make that play.
So Arisa Katani is also the vice skip, holds the room for Kawana.
Jen?
Zhang Shindi, 21-year-old second for this Chinese team.
Team China, we've been waking up this morning thinking we've got new life. If you were with us yesterday for that miraculous comeback victory that China. Oh, hello. It is a bit crisp out this morning in North Bay. And
getting the curling rock hat on.
Just throw the out turn and spin the child around.
Got to keep warm. Got to keep the head warm.
Yeah, that's key.
Yuna Kotani. Well, they're the two Kotani sisters on this Japanese squad.
Yes, the older sister at age 19.
Yeah. Well, hits and rolls off that center line guard as we look at the rules of play. 6 ends, minimum must be played, 38 minutes of thinking time, 1 60-second timeout. And have your coach come down.
There's the release. We can see the green light go on. That's a legal throw.
Green light means go.
Green means go.
Puts the rotation on like a merry-go-round.
Yeah, it's a good innovation. It was introduced into the sport about 25 years ago now. The electronic handles. It used to be human beings at the hog lines detecting a legal throw. I can tell you that the players much prefer this system.
So the guard goes up but doesn't quite cover that one in the top part of the house. Room to make a little bit of quiet play on it. Just the second game of the event here for Yuna Kotani. On the roster coming in was listed as the third, but they've mixed their lineup up throughout. Played 75% in their game against Denmark on Sunday.
It's not uncommon to see that with younger teams in particular. And we see a nice little double tap there, rearranging the stone and pushing the Chinese stone behind the tee line. Very nice. Teams come here with a fifth player, an alternate. but they all have equal status and they can substitute game to game, or they can substitute during games.
But
not many teams actually take advantage of it.
Once a player starts game and comes out, they can't go back in,
That's
correct?
right, exactly right. So one substitution per game, but you can make that substitution at any time. Wang Rei, 23 years old, competed at the recent Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang in the mixed doubles discipline. Oh,
little unfortunate. It was trying to move those around, ends up double jamming it, leaves Japan lying 2 and some guards to use.
yeah, things setting up pretty well for Team Japan now. He got the hammer, and they're lying 2.
Well, it's all about taking advantage when you have the opportunities. They did that in their game a couple days ago against Denmark. Now coming back, they had to draw the button to beat the U.S. yesterday. Japan making those pressure shots.
Onodera. The veteran on the ice at the advanced age of 26.
Yeah, and she does bring the international experience. She's played in Olympic Winter Games, a World Women's Championship in 2015 with Ayumi Ogasawara. So that's why she got put into this lineup, but unable to get in, really take advantage of that opening.
Does provide a bit of cover. But a straight run back now for Wang Rei. Just grazes out that stone in the back of the rings. That's helpful. Got something out of it.
I think there's a discussion there. They may have touched after they rammed the red stone on the left of your picture.
Yep.
Tori Kawana just says, I don't think it did a whole lot.
Jang Jin-di said, I'd touch that stone. Tori Kawana says, yeah, it wasn't going to actually change where that rock was going to come to rest. And that's one of the great things about the sport of curling. We do have officials on the ice available to make rules discussion decisions, but generally the players themselves know the rules and they sort it out between them. Good example of it there. Taking it deep to try and get behind those guards up in front of the house. Back 8 foot, good separation. Well, first end, Luke, it's already a bit of a roller coaster. Look at all the rocks in play.
Up and down, and looked like China had something going, then the crash on the guard. Momentum goes right down and then swings back the other way.
It's incredible.
Hit and roll in front. You can try and draw the back one. What options do you like?
I like this call. You can get yourself into shot rock position. There's a whole pile of guards to roll behind. So you got lots of tolerance as far as how far you're going to roll here. You could try to freeze the back one, but you don't have hammer, and it's really unnecessary in the first end to risk dropping a 3. So I like this call.
Well, Zhang Lilu, 24-year-old skip, very young Chinese squad as well. The least experienced as far as years curling. So just 10 years at most for some, as it hits it on the outside, jams it on the other one.
Well, that's the open door now for Japan. Now all of a sudden we've got 3 in play because Tori Kawana can duck around that corner guard now, sit front 8-foot, and make life very difficult indeed for Jiang Yilun. Great situation for Japan here in the first. Two young teams, though, Luke, you're exactly right. It's the future of Pacific Asia curling on the ice here in North Bay.
Tori Kawana, that unconventional release, setting it the opposite way as she's thrown with the out turn. She started like she's throwing the in turn, spin it, and then go back the other way.
It's just to keep us guessing, Luke.
It's funny just throwing it with the out turn. She throws it sets the stone the same way, whether it's an in turn or an out turn. It comes just a bit deep.
Yeah, that's a mistake. Let's watch the release. It's definitely an in-turn release, but rotates and then brings it back.
Yeah, starts everyone at about that 10 o'clock position. Yeah. But instead of just rotating it to about the 1 on a release for an in-turn, she sets it all the way back to a 1 or a 2 o'clock on a clock and goes back for the out turn.
That's right. Most players will make that handle adjustment in the hack as they're setting up, but Tori does it during the shot. Some people are better at multitasking than others, Luke. Tori can handle it. Larissa Katan, the lead player, but she holds the brush for Tori. 17 years old. You know, you start to come to these events and you're thinking, okay, I've watched a lot of curling in my life. This is the first time I've seen a curler in a World Championship event who was born in this millennium.
That is the first. Of course, these events no stranger to seeing teenagers. Saw Stella Heiss with Germany for years playing as a teenager with Andrea Schopp and Germany. Is this one trying to come down? Jiang Yilun, just a little roll off, and I think a chance here for 3.
Definitely a chance for 3. What a great opportunity for Japan here in the first. Needed to weld right on the face of that one, but just a fraction heavy. Not completely in the open, but absolutely you can play hack weight. Just get across the nose. There's plenty of room past the guard. You could even throw board weight if you wanted to. That's the view from the hack for Tori Kawana. Fractionally heavy with her first draw. You can see total clearance past that center guard, wide open and available.
What kind of weights they're looking at to try and...
I wouldn't baby this one. If you get to the nose, even if you jam the back one, you're still scoring 2. I'd be thinking about board weight on this one, Luke. See that double set on the rotation by Kawana. Sweeper's on it immediately, though.
They got a lot of work to do on this one.
They definitely do. Trying to push the Chinese stone, but is it going to over-curl? Yes, it will.
And it's going to be a steal. It over-curls that one completely. Not enough ice for the weight that was thrown. And it is a steal of 1 for China, so they'd have to be quite pleased that they
dodged the bullet. And yeah, disappointment on the face of Tori Kawana. Something not quite right on that one, but it is a huge steal for China.
So 1-0 after 1 end of play, China leading Japan. Well, some of the school kids here, each picking a different country. They see different signs. They see some Germany, some Korea signs. Saw some Japanese flags in there as well, cheering on as they get to get a little field trip.
Nothing better than a morning off school, really.
I always remember growing up, it was always one of the exciting times when a curling event was in your city, and we get to go miss a half day of school to go watch curling. It's awesome. Get up on the video board in the building here, the North Bay Memorial Gardens. Luke Coley, Hans Frauenlaub. Surprised how light Tori Kawana was with her final shot.
Definitely.
He gives up the steal of 1.
Yeah, that was a huge opportunity for Japan to grab control of the game right in the first end. That one's
Tori
spinning like a tilt-a-whirl out there towards the hog line. Little broom toss.
A little too excited early on.
Yeah.
Hot potato there in her hand, and
big day at the fair. Yeah, she could have thrown board weight at that one in the first end. No reason at all to really down the weight. No risk. You could even throw full takeout weight, jam the back, and still scoring 2.
Well, corner guard in play.
Time clocks in the background. Give us an idea. That's the game clocks. 38 minutes each team thinking time.
And that clock will stop once they hit the tee line on the delivery, so it'll be running until now.
Or just before now. It's kind of like top 4 foot when you said now, not tee line. Okay. We'll keep Luke in the booth. We'll keep him off the timer's bench.
We'll look over Italy and Korea. First end, Kim Young-gung and the Olympic silver medalist trying to get off to, they start with the hammer here and draw for a second point. Taking on this Italian team that's come in, not big expectations for them, but they're able to pick up some big wins. They come in with a 2-3 record. Chance to bring Korea back, but Korea and the Kim girls get an early 2, so they lead 2-0. Jump over Canada and Denmark, and Canada trying to stay unbeaten. A win here this morning would tie them atop the standings with Sweden. Jennifer Jones line 1 has the intern draw. Draw for a second point. So they try to distance themselves from that third seed. We'll talk about the playoffs here after keep you up to date with this one. But top 2 seeds definitely have an advantage as Canadian side tested yesterday by the Chinese squad, went to the 10th end.
They were.
No problem there for the 2008 world champion Jennifer Jones. They lead 2-0 in that game.
Nice center guard there by China. Crowd loves it. Hometown fans very happy about that Canadian deuce.
All the kids here. Oh, the rock hat.
Another great hat. Yeah, the rock hats are
some good. It's a good hat morning out there.
It is a great hat morning.
Yuna Kotani.
It's clearing time now for Japan. Nice shot.
Yeah, forcing play into the rings, the guard to be put back out in front. You miss a guard, there's a chance to play hit and roll.
China will be feeling like they really dodged a bullet there in the first end. Really a 4-point swing You think we're almost certain to drop a 3, you wind up stealing a 1. They're playing the second end very well. 2 stones right along the center line, and now they're doing a nice job of protecting it. Good shot.
Yuji Nishimuro, the coach of this Japanese squad. Peeking out from behind the tripod and the camera and all the equipment they have to monitor, to have all the tape they can go over after. And they'll peel the guard.
Technology has definitely come into our sport. Video analysis.
Yeah, and their coach, J.D. Lin, the national team coach, was talking yesterday with Rona Howie, as we see Zhang Zhepeng, the coach of this Chinese team, really using it as a learning experience. They don't have great expectations. They'd love to be in there at the end, but that's not their goal. Here is to get an experience, play some close games, see how they react, see how the team does. Get them out there in this environment, because the more teams that you have that have been in this environment, the better off for your sports game, or the sport in your country, and to grow the game.
No doubt.
See some teams that are put all their eggs in one basket with one team, and then when that team decides they aren't playing anymore, there's not much below them.
That's a very good point, Luke, and that's very astute from J.D. Lin. Here we see J.D. on the left-hand side of our picture. Mo Ishigaki, who is the alternate this morning for Japan. But the depth is really important. You can't really advance the game in your country unless you've got a good, strong, competitive base to compete against domestically. 2 rocks in motion. Will it get out of the rings? Oh, nicely done.
Very nice. Bringing in possibly that other stone behind the corner guard.
That was a huge shot. Now all of a sudden for China, if you nose hit this one, you might be 3rd shot. Out of nowhere, a possible deuce on the cards now for Japan.
Well, in a different format this year, 13 teams, so that means we have an extra team out of the Pacific Asia region this season. It's these 2 teams and Korea, and those 3 really battling it out. They always normally battle for 2 spots. Now there's a 3rd this season.
I think it is a reflection of the growth in the game in the, not just in the Pacific Asia region, but really globally.
I'll roll out there, though.
Yep, open door now for Japan for the deuce.
And that changes the format, so 6 teams now make the playoffs.
6 teams now make the playoffs. Now there are 60 members, the member associations in the World Curling Federation, so it was time to increase the field size at Worlds. And this format, 6 teams will make the playoffs. Top 2 seeds, 1 and 2, will advance directly to the semifinal. And then the 3rd-ranked team will play the 6th-ranked team. 4 versus 5. The winners of those games will advance into the semifinal. No page playoff here, and no tiebreakers either.
And all sudden death playoffs.
Trying to hold the line. Need this one to stay in the rings, but they need contact first. They got the contact, but they lose the shooter.
Good scrub from Yuna Kotani, and could really hear the urgency from Tori Kawana.
Certainly could.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, they do need this one in the rings, but it just spills.
And teams also using the hand signals as well. Yeah. And because of a crowd, you're seeing a lot of noise in other sheets and making sure that they know that you want them to sweep. You got to use your eyes and your ears in order to know the sweep call.
Very much so. And the players will tell you that they love playing in front of a lively crowd, but one of the things you do need to deal with, you've got 4 games in action, you've got a crowd making noise. Sometimes you're used to yelling out your sweeping instructions, but sometimes you just can't hear it. So you have to look up, use hand signals. Given the choice between playing in front of a deathly still audience and a crowd that's making noise and screaming, The athletes will tell you, give us the noise all day long, please. This one's sliding deep. Will it stay in the rings? All the way through.
Had all the room to work with, so mistakes back and forth. Seeing from both sides early on in this game.
Minus 16 outside. The ice is a bit pacey this morning. It's obviously fooling them a little bit. So after the disappointment of cashing the 3 in the first end, another opportunity for Japan.
Split the rings here. Tori Kawana.
Everybody out to sweep this one. They've definitely got it on the rings, no problem there. How deep do they want it? Nice sweep indeed.
There's the panic that you don't want to miss that opportunity. So line 2 there. Canada over on sheet D taking on Denmark. Canada lying 3. Angelina Jensen draw against 3. Need full 8 foot.
Yeah, not too difficult a shot, but it's always a little bit tougher when you've got 3 counters looking at you.
Sweeper's just staying close, but it'll go right down to the 4 foot. So Denmark on the board there with a single point. 2-1 the score over on sheet D. Of course, we'll keep you updated all the way around here in session 9.
Is this one going to stick around? Yes, it does.
Zhang Lilun hits there, so after missing an opportunity for 3 in the first, chance for 2 right back in the second. It's an important shot for confidence for Kawana to finish off the end.
I was just going to say exactly that, Luke. This is a really important shot. Not just for the 2 points, but absolutely for confidence. Wang Rui. Zhang Yilin looking on. Tori Kawana, final stone.
Well, the quiet hit and stick need to stay in the rings.
This one looks better.
And there it will, right on the beak, get their deuce. And swings it right back the other way. 2-1. Japan now leads over China after 2 ends.
3局奔2分打分0比0都行，然后倒第4局后手也可以。注意场地滑合度，然后注意场地的变化，各方面都要做细了，就不要咱们现在是不光是力量判断，你把各方面都要做细。外に膨らむ方に落ちてる。だからインターンもちょっと入りやすいし、アウトターンこっち出やすいかも。ナイスゲーム。ナイスナイス。手に押さえたい。押さえてまた。
Well, back inside the North Bay Memorial Gardens, Luke Coley, Hans Frauenlob in the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018. And it is Japan with a 2-1 edge over China. China will have the hammer for the first time here. So we play this third end.
Nice tight center guard there by the Japanese, and an important deuce for them there in the second loop. Tori Kawana making a nice hit and stick on her last after missing a great opportunity in the first for the 3.
Yeah, and those skips need to have that short memory.
Yeah.
Forget the one in the first, go make your one in the second. Have a short memory, but a good memory to remember different paths in the ice, what it's doing, but
a selective memory.
There you go.
Nice come around here by Yan Hui. Bites the top of the 4-foot circle. Katani, this team from Kitami, the north of Japan, the island of Hokkaido. They get lots and lots of snow in Hokkaido Loop.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it feels like the Polar Express up there.
So they're not all that unaccustomed to the cold weather that we're seeing here.
Yeah, minus 16.
Last couple mornings here in North Bay.
No problem for them,
as
absolutely.
Just don't quite make that decision to go around.
Slides to the back 8-foot. Beautiful, beautiful place though, Hokkaido. Hokkaido has hosted the Winter Olympics in Sapporo in 1972. Next Winter Olympics will be in Beijing in China.
And the next Summer Olympics will be in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Both these countries hosting Olympic Games coming up. Obviously no curling at the Summer Olympics.
Not yet. So popular in Pyeongchang, maybe they'll try to put it on the summer program as well.
I'll see all of them trying to take this one to that back stone now. Well, into lie 2.
Japan will have to be a little bit careful here. Big risk of a jam.
Well, these teams definitely like to throw it and use their sweepers.
Yeah.
Sometimes all of them sweeping stones. It's definitely one you want to use your sweepers on.
Oh, the benefit of youth, Luke.
To be in the 20s and able to do that.
Yeah,
that's the
pre-20s in the case of the Japanese.
True. The athleticism of these players now.
Oh, nice looking stone here. Beauty.
Little roll in, touches the button.
Great shot.
A lineup of stones playing around the center. Speaking of around the center, there's a few stones around the 4-foot, Italy and Korea.
There's a pile of stones.
And it looks like Deanna Gaspari has a tight port to try and get through with this in turn.
Seems like Deanna's been throwing these kinds of shots all week. Lots of rocks in play, having to draw in or around the lid. She's been making a lot of them.
Yeah, showing the form that she had when she went on to win the bronze at the Europeans.
Look at this.
Right through, little rub, right in.
Beauty.
And gets one on the board is Italy against previously unbeaten Korea. They lost their first yesterday to Sweden in a rematch of the Olympic final. Scotland and Germany in their second end. Germany got a deuce in the first. And great hit and roll by Scotland. Got one behind a guard. All Germany could do was hit and basically say, okay, we'll concede the deuce. And so that's what Hannah Fleming's looking to do. Both these teams looking for win number 1. Hannah Fleming, no problem. Sticks around, there's 2, so 2-2 the score there.
Yeah, Hannah's had a rough start to this tournament and really does need a confidence boost here today. They've got the talent, there's no doubt about that. They just need to get some confidence in their play and they could get on a roll. This one's going to just nudge the center guard. China got their stone into a fantastic spot, sitting directly in front of that Japanese rock on the button. So threatening here. Good setup for China. If they can disturb those two rocks on the forefoot, they could get their deuce right back and maybe more.
Yeah, all the teams trying to position themselves, keep themselves in playoff contention. Top 6 make the playoffs here of the 13-team field. Thinking 5 losses, probably the most.
Yeah, 7 and 5, you're feeling like you've got a reasonable chance. 8 and 4, you're absolutely safe, I'd say. And 6 and 6, you're hoping. 7 and 5, you'd think.
Got an opportunity.
Got an opportunity.
So you're looking at a team like Scotland over on sheet C at 0 and 5, got to run the table basically.
Run the table, but you'd be thinking that's exactly what you'd be thinking. Still in the tournament.
Little tap, try and keep the right angle. Just over curls a hair, but still,
yeah, it's
pretty good.
It's a good spot. I think that I'm Tori Kawana right now. Starting to feel a little bit uneasy about how all these stones are accumulating in front of the button area. The danger stone is actually that center guard. China can run that back into the pile and they could be setting themselves up for a bundle. Thinking back to last evening, if you're Team Japan, you're doing a little bit of homework on your opponent for today. All you had to do was watch that 10th end that the Chinese put together against Russia. They can score in bundles quickly.
Well, playing the freeze, little tap, little roll. Pretty good. That yellow's in a good spot.
Yeah, that's a nice shot.
That's a real good angle for Onodera.
Changes the angles entirely. Now it's how do you deal with that stone that was just delivered by the Japanese? Every angle looks pretty bad. Yellow straight back, kill both of your own. Yellow on an angle, you jam on the one on the left. That is probably the best one, the angle run in. You could pick off the Japanese stone top of the 8-foot, spring it away in the clear.
It's not easy, but could you run that red in and try and just clip it off the red on the top of the forefoot?
You could. It's a pretty snug little hole and not much target area to get by, but
you could peel that other yellow off. You could clip the top yellow.
Personally, I like keeping that red one there as a weapon. I'd be angling in the yellow stone on the corner, trying to double off that stone at the top of the 8-foot and spring it open. That is not the play.
Looks like a quieter weight tap of some sort.
It does. We'll see what Wang Rui is going to play. She's comfortable with rocks in play, as we mentioned. Half of the Chinese mixed doubles team. So gentle weight stones in and around the forefoot area are very, very familiar to Wei.
Yeah, in that format, you can't get rid of the stones early, so there's no choice but to keep them in.
Exactly. Gonna tap that center one, move it a bit.
Rolls it off the side, just change the angles ever so slightly, and a few different options now.
Yeah, keeps her own stone biting the 12-foot as well, so.
The in off, you could play the straight back on the red.
Yeah, just creating more options for themselves. I'm going to put the guard back. I like this call. Angles are good for you right now, and if you monkey around with those stones in the rings a little bit, you could just change the angles, and all of a sudden you're opening it up for the Chinese to maybe get 2 or 3. Right now, it'd be difficult for China to score more than 1. If you're brand new to our sport, the basics of strategy in curling, when you've got last rock, you're trying to score 2 or more. When you don't have last rock, you're trying to force your opponent to take only 1. Overlapping that red Chinese stones, that neutralizes it a bit as far as the Chinese ability to run it back. Not bad. Shows the open side of the yellow stone in the 8-foot circle. China will make their move now on trying to rearrange the stones in the 4-foot. Big weight.
Looking to open it up.
Well,
Can
that's
they get that yellow out as
good
well?
result. Look at that.
To lie 3.
Wow. What a result. Fantastic shot by Wang Rei. Watch the stones fly. Everything's in motion.
And actually clips that back yellow as well. I wasn't sure if it was
amazing.
Going to line up. And
one more look, and it's worth another look.
Just pinballs around through there and keeps spinning like teacups.
Everything's slow motion out to the wings, and wow. That changes the game.
Yeah, angles were real good for Japan, and all of a sudden,
just clipping that back one out did change everything.
Yeah,
because
I thought that back yellow would stay. I didn't think it was going to be the factor. So lying what looks like 3. There's 2 that are on the outside of the 12-foot that are fairly close.
Yeah, you would not ignore them, but a big shot here for Tori Kawana now all of a sudden, but it's damage control.
And they're hoping to protect that with the guard. That's why with the guard over curling.
Rolls into the wings, but it's in the open. Yeah, red, I think, is definitely 3rd shot right now.
So China just hit and stick here. You can lie 2, or pardon me, lie 2, possibly 3.
I think 3, yeah.
And just keep things away, and then make the decision for Japan. Do you have to go all out? So we'll look over Canada and Denmark giving Canada everything they can fight for. They're putting the
4.
pressure on.
Line 4.
Wow. And going out to the wide side. This is on an end sheet, so right next to the board. So this side might react a little differently than the inside.
Jennifer Jones saying we need the button. They certainly do.
So facing 4 in a 2-1 game. Unbeaten Canadians taking on Denmark.
This is one of these games that on the schedule for the Canadians, maybe you're looking past Denmark, you're thinking, okay, easy win. Get that one in the books, get some rest, carry on, but
yeah,
danger here.
Canada has a split day today. They'll play Scotland tonight.
Past the guards, now it's a question of the weight. Oh, they're saying it's heavy.
Line is real good to get to the button.
It's a steal.
But it goes too far, but it cuts down what could have been a big steal. It's still 1 in a tie game over on sheet D. That's a shot Jen doesn't mind missing just like that. That one real close for Canada.
Yeah.
But Canada knows, go into the day knowing you're playing 2 teams below you in the standings, and then tomorrow you get Korea and Sweden. So maybe in the mind you start thinking a little bit ahead.
That can happen. You know, you're a very experienced Canadian team, and you train yourself not to do that. You train yourself to stay in the present, but
it happens. It's hard not to.
It absolutely happens, no doubt about it. Denmark will know that too. Denmark will use that for motivation for themselves this morning. They would have woken up this morning saying, the Canadians are going to take us lightly. Let's surprise them. Japan cannot take this situation lightly.
No, facing 3, and Wang Rei makes that Great slash triple.
Yeah, fantastic shot.
Would think this is the hit and roll. I don't know if you're gutsy enough to play the straight draw.
Yeah, that would be really brave to play the draw in this situation. But it's a long roll.
I think Kawana doesn't waste a lot of time in the hack. She gets in there and goes.
It's pretty close to nose. Little roll, but not enough. It's going to be open. Hit for 3. 2 for certain. Pretty sure that Redstone is
I think
shot.
it is 3, but
well, this game has got the potential of ends to score in bunches. Japan had a chance for 3 in the first, didn't convert it. Japan gets a pair in the second, and now China with a chance for 3. Kawana can only look on. Things were looking pretty good until Wang Ray sprung everything open.
Zhang Yilun hit, stick, chance at 3. Saw the Japanese side miss a chance at 3 in the first end.
They look pretty happy with this one.
And right on the nose, so they kick away. It is a 3 for China, so they jump out to their second lead of the game. They get the lead back this time, 4-2. They will lead this one after 3 ends of play between these two Asian rivals.
我这个感觉力量滑蹬的时候我送了一点，送了一点。そうブレイクは遅いけどものすごい使い切るから。ドローがやばい。まずは変だな。点できれば2点って感じ。ちょっともう滑ってるね。4-3で入ったんだもんね。
Awesome. Multiple scores already. We could have saw another one in the first, but it is a 4-2 score. China and Japan. China with the edge right now. So we look at the tournament accuracy throughout here in the fourth end. Yan Hui, 76%.
Well, terrific example for newer curlers who want to look at that third end again and how China built it up. Japan looked like they were in some pretty good defensive positions, but a fantastic shot by Wang Ray. Unlocked everything.
Yeah, and it was right after a guard over curled. They were trying to guard and take away that they couldn't play that yellow in, and it was hit absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, unlocked everything.
Harisa Kotani, 80%. Japanese lead.
Curling coach once told me, I think it's great advice. If you've got a shot situation and you can't think of anything else to do, throw your stone in front of your opponent's stone. And in that third end, we saw a great hit and roll that left a Chinese stone sitting directly in front of a Japanese stone in the front of the forefoot. And when Wang Ray made that little angle run in it, sprung everything. It was that frozen stone that popped everything and unlocked it. It's a great way to generate offense. Tuck around that center guard. Well swept. We're talking about that playoff situation, Luke, and a little bit early to be thinking playoffs, but teams will be starting to think about it. China can maintain their advantage and win this one this morning. That moves them to 3-3. And maybe thinking that puts us in the frame.
Well, right now they sit just a game back of that last spot that would be in the playoffs. Czech Republic and Russia, who are in buys this session, actually sitting in the 5 and 6 spots, which the playoffs started today would be the cutoff. China trying to get on a bit of a run here.
Well, if you get yourself to 3-3, 12-game round robin, 6 to play, and then you're thinking to yourself, okay, we go 4-2 the rest of the way. We're in it.
Well, they know they have a day today where they win 2 games. They're taking on teams ahead of them in the standings. They have Japan here, and then another rival out of the Pacific Asia region in Korea this evening. So Zhang Shendi, 76% on the tournament. It's always nice when you can pull off wins against teams that are above you in the field, bring them back. Any wins are good, but
exactly.
You're not going to say no to any win.
Nearly behind that center guard cover.
Good quiet weight control.
Yeah, Jindy, I think in this team, saying in another game yesterday, I think she's a bit of the spark plug of this team. She brings the energy, a bit of the emotion. If I think about Eun-jung Kim's team from Korea, I'd say it's Kim Kyung-ae who's the spark plug on that team. Every team has usually got one player who's the energy player on the team.
83% for Yuna Kotani. Well, trying to keep some stones in play. That's what Japan's looking for to try and generate offense.
Got to get by this guard. And the one in the top 8 foot. Oh, well swept. Very well swept.
Nice little roll to the top of the button.
Just that delicate weight. Just back 8 foot weight. Fully buried. Awkward angles for the Chinese to try and play a double raise. They're just slightly staggered guards, so you can't run them straight back. So will be the attempted freeze being played by Zhang Shendi.
So we'll look in Italy and Korea, and a chance here for Korea. Score multiple points again. It's a hit here. Kim Young-gung. Hit, stick, score 3, and a 5-1 lead if she can do that. And no problem there, able to get it right on the nose. So a 5-1 lead for Korea over Italy.
An important stabilizing game for Team Kim after that loss to Sweden yesterday, and they are firmly in control. Scotland, Germany.
Yeah, and a chance to get one back. A good force here for Scotland. Opportunity. Daniela Jentsch, out-turn hit and stick, and you get a single point. Both these teams need to get on a bit of a run. Both looking for their first win. Sometimes it just takes get one win.
Is this one going to stick around? I don't know.
They're trying to sweep to get that late finish, but it's going to roll too far, and it's going to be a steal of one for Scotland.
Wow.
An unforced error there by Daniela Jentsch. So 3-2 Scotland leads.
Center's been cleared here. So Huang Rui, 77% for the tournament. Be able to make a play on a straight back. She had the key setup shot in the last end to set up the three. This one is really moving, though. I'm not sure it's going to get by that guard. No, it clips it. Opportunity lost for Team China. Still a lot of risk here for Japan. They've got the hammer, but that stone in the front of the 8-foot's a real problem for Japan. Great look at it there, that stone in the front of the rings as we're looking at it. That's the danger rock for Japan. I
really like this hit and roll. You can try and a defensive shot by getting rid of it, but also make an offensive attempt to try and keep this stone around.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep this one in the rings if you're going to make a play at it. Onodera, 76% for the tournament. Little panic sweep there. Maybe overswept. It's going to roll out.
Yeah, that stones hadn't even rested, and we see China indicating, let's hit this one on the nose.
Exactly. Pounce.
Zhang Yilun running up there. Well, those are rolling out. We're hitting the line too.
Absolutely.
Huang Rui.
Well, they took the lesson that they took away from their game against Russia last night. Russia let China back in the game by throwing guards, and China, after scoring 3, they're not going to make the same mistake against Japan. That's for sure.
But corner guard still in play, make one nice shot and set up a deuce. That's all Japan's going to try and be patient with, try and make that shot.
Yeah. It is a wideish corner guard. It's usable. Challenge for Japan if you do get that one over there. Still only going to be second shot.
But again, they're really jumping some of these early, thinking that it's going to move, and
yeah. A bit like bumper cars in an amusement park. You're just sort of driving in and you bounce off, and this one just bounces out of the ring.
An opportunity to play a force. Not really thinking the corner guard's a factor for them. Some teams may go peel it here. They're going to draw into the center. I thought they might draw away to really just split the rings. Put suspicion might be a double as we see Zhang Yilun, 71% on the tournament. Japan might be thinking double and try and get out with a blank.
Great, Luke. Could split the house. Makes the force a little bit easier. Or a little bit more likely, maybe not easier. This situation, you do give Japan a chance to throw the double if they want to. Well, get a great view there. Tori pointing directly where she wants that stone to roll. It's going to be hit and roll. Try to sit in front of that stone in the back of the 8-foot.
Yeah, and she has a sliding broom that she leaves at the other end. So there's times where she'll put her gripper and gloves down, and then actually seen her grab the shaft of the broom and slide it where she wants of Arisa Kotani, and just
you need to visualize where everything's going to go. That's great.
It's different. You're used to the regular, you see quickly out of the hack. Doesn't waste any time. Yes. After cleaning the stone, still trying to play this hit and roll.
Urgency in the voices here. Looking for a roll. Don't know if they're going to get it. Just that gentle weight. It's never going to roll very far. You would have had to hit half the rock. Yeah. Tori Kawana. Jang Yi-Lung going to try to remove this one. Trying to keep it high side, avoid the jam, keep their stone in the back. Very nice.
And that'll put him in position to get the force.
Well, it's a great spot because you hit the stone in the front. It's a steal. So now you force Japan to play the stone in the back of the 8-foot. Makes that stone that you just threw actually into a guard. Nice end by Team China. They've really controlled the whole end.
Yeah, even when there was an opportunity, Japan couldn't take advantage of it to force China to come after them. It's been Japan chasing. So hit now, stick.
Sweeper saying the weight's down a little bit. Watch it duck. Make sure it gets past that top one.
Well, got a hit and stick. There's the hit. Sticks right in the 4-foot. So Japan scores, but only gets one with the hammer. And it's a 4-3 game now, as China will get the hammer back, heading to the 5th end of our feature game.
Marissa Katani getting us underway. Live at the North Bay Memorial Gardens. Nice crowd in here this morning. Tuesday morning in North Bay. The Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018. Our feature match. China and Japan. Once round up. Luke Coley bringing you the action from North Bay. Center guard. Set by Japan. China with the hammer here on 5.
Well, they've only had the hammer one end. They took full advantage of it, scoring 3.
Yeah, you don't need the hammer very often when you're scoring 3s. Make the most of it. Two guards, side by each, like eggs in a pan. Tori Kawana looking on. It's going to be out turn come around here for Katani.
Well, this, as we've talked about, just the 17-year-old.
Amazing.
17 playing at a world championship. Very nice in behind. We'll look over Canada, Denmark 2-2 the score, and looks like it is Canada line 1, so opportunity Jennifer Jones to draw on line 2. Win here for Canada and they can tie Sweden atop the standings with a 5-0 record. The only 2 unbeaten teams left. Denmark trying to get things going. They got a win yesterday. Now at 1-3. Trying to get a little bit of momentum back.
Yeah, they're playing Canada tough, but good chance here for Jennifer Jones. Needs a piece of the button.
And then right down to it.
Nice.
It's a good bounce back in by the Canadian side. They gave up a steal in the thirds and then get 2 in the fourth. So a 2-point lead in that game. 4-2 as they're through 4 ends. Back to ours, and the come around by China ended up going just as a nibbler back at the 12-foot.
Good situation here for Japan. Good look at the World Curling Federation logos. It's hard for curling fans in North America and Europe to fathom the popularity of curling in Asia, particularly on television. Mentioned that Satsuki Fujisawa of Japan recently won the bronze medal at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Televised curling in China and Korea and Japan.
Huge numbers.
Yeah, it's not millions of people, it's not tens of millions of people, it's hundreds of millions of people watching televised curling in Asia. It's amazing.
Well, with the guard going up, now the run back call to the middle of the 3 stones out in front. Zhang Xinyi. We'll just peel that one out. And just further to, as that one gets on the rings.
Yeah, that works.
Further to the popularity and growth. The 2 semifinals of the Olympic Winter Games, they're both going at the same time. There's over 90 photographers for those 2 games. I think there's about 3 or 4 doing the Sweden-Great Britain semifinal. And the other one was Korea against Japan. There had to have been 3-4 deep behind the sheets just to get a chance to get a photo.
Yeah, that 3-4 or that semifinal at Olympics, that Japan-Korea game was a sensational game. I mean, the game itself was of the highest quality and both teams played spectacularly well. The viewership numbers, I'm informed that in South Korea, 43% of the entire population of Korea watched that game. Not just the people that had televisions on. 43% of the entire population, 70 million people in South Korea, watched that game. Incredible.
So by Japan hitting that, not rolling in, there is that little nibbler in the back. China all of a sudden has a hit to lie 2.
Well, let's stick around. Talk about using all the rings.
Those are 2 nibblers, but I think Japan, do you ignore them and try and go around one of the guards?
I would think so in this situation. I agree, Luke. You've got the guards there. You set the guards with the intention of using them. Saying that, China's got the hammer, so you've got a bit of risk if you do go around. It's a bit of a cautious play, but probably a sensible one for Japan here. Be a different story if Japan had the hammer. They'd definitely go around, but trying to remove this stone at the back, just get by that corner guard, rolling all the way across the rings now.
Well, they're going to touch the other one.
It might have been the softest double takeout ever, but no, it just goes past the one in the back. Good chance now for China. They can use that guard.
That's why I thought that you might see Japan try and get in behind first and sort of try and get China chasing them a bit as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, that is definitely the other way to play it. Go around, make them come after you. they clip the guard or if they hit and roll out, then you can make a play on the stone in the back just to limit the damage if you're worried too much about that. Now it's a free shot for China to go around the guard themselves and lie two. This one looks pretty good. Great shot.
Very nice. It's definitely no lack of curl out on the ice, and you're getting a lot of it late on the sheet. So from the hog line in, you're getting a lot of movement.
Yeah, great late finish. That's what the athletes love. You step the weight up positive, board plus, it's going to track pretty straight for you, and so you can control raises and runbacks. But when you want to duck around something, good late finish. Corner freeze attempt coming up now for Japan. Onodera trying to follow this one down, sit right in front of it. Won't be able to get right in front of it, might get a corner in front of it. Gotta get by that guard. Oh, just rubs it. Just biting.
Yeah, it will outcount the back one, so it's a tough one to hit and roll if you're China. They know they have one in a good position to try and score their multiple point end.
Yes, they do. That one could be a saver for the Japanese. It is promotable. But a great chance now for China to lie two. Undercover. Good line. How's the weight? Might be a bit light.
Don't have to get that far into the rings with
That's true.
all those stones on the outside of the paint.
Quarter by the 12 foot. Two. Counting 2 stones.
Yeah, full 8 foot is shot stone. Well, Wang Ray has had a whale of a game so far.
Yeah, let's look at this one.
This one was the big shot of the game so far.
Yeah, the third end. It was all set up. The angles were looking pretty good for Japan until Wang Ray. Watch this one. Angle raise and watch the stones fly. Everything's moving left, right, center, up, down, sideways, and at the end of it, China's lying three. What a fantastic shot by Wang Ray.
And it was a great shot by Wang Ray, but let's give Zhang Yi-Lun the credit, knowing the angles where they need to hit it. Yeah. That's a big thing with this game. Is you see a lot of teams, some players use pool.
Absolutely.
Playing pool is seeing the angles and that to.
It's funny you say that. Back in our competitive days, my teammate Sean Becker, he would always make an argument saying, well, you know, we should spend our funding on a pool table. That we should learn the angles, and it is very much around, hitting around, how you redirect stones, how the angles, how things react, drag effect. Lots of things to consider when you're hitting a big piece of granite with another big piece of granite.
A long discussion for Japan, what playing here into skip stones. Do you try and play the little tap on your own and roll your shooter? Can you make a straight come around into the 4 foot, which I was thinking, did they have the angles to play weight and go yellow on, get the double?
Well, Tori Kawana, we haven't seen her throwing big weight at all. I think she does prefer the more gentle, softer control weight shots. So this one is a draw. Sweepers on it immediately. They're a bit concerned about the weight. This one needs to be up in the rings.
Well, just trying to keep this one going.
Yep. Now they're sweeping for curl. They're trying to get behind protection of that guard. Not bad, I would say.
If they could have got off a little bit to let a little bit of the curl.
I agree. I think it was slightly overswept, if anything.
But it is accessible for China. Chance to lie three.
Won't be easy, though. I'd say this stone has got to have decent amount of cover. But maybe a corner of it is available for Zhang Yi-Lun to make a play. Coming back to that prior shot. The sweepers, you know, if it's light out of hand, you're jumping it immediately. You're really reluctant to come off it because you know it can just lose the momentum instantly, and if it comes up sitting in the top 8 foot, all of a sudden you feel really bad. So the sweepers never left it, but a chance here for China. Get the perspective of the Japanese back end. Trying to hold the line. This is going to flirt with the guard. Are they by?
Trying to play the hit. They won't. Will it stick? That's the question. It won't. It'll just continue to spin and spin right out.
Relieves the pressure a bit for Japan, but
so
does open up the shot rock.
Back and forth, up and down like a roller coaster to go the momentum in this end.
Yeah. It's, definitely swings and roundabouts in this one. One of these situations where the best guard for Japan is second shot.
You need to be full 8 foot to be 1-2.
Well, you do, but you also need to get a corner behind cover of that stone in the top of the 12 foot, because if you sit in the open, you give China a double takeout for 3. So you need to get a bit of cover here. An important stone coming up for Tori Kawana. A little bit of a wild slide there, but she corrects well.
Able to just manage her with a little, like a rudder at the back to steer her delivery.
Weight control is in the hands of the sweepers. It's up to them now. Oh, good looking stone. By that guard, they need to sit for second shot. Don't want to get past that stone. Don't set up a double.
And that's where they didn't want to go. Now a double for 3 comes into play. That one, even if they take it a little deeper, it's not there. They
left it in the worst
managed that
spot.
very well. And a young team that sometimes, if you're not going to make the shot, where do we need to be? How do we deal with this stone? And reacting on the fly, sometimes that's tough. They get a close look to see exactly the angles of
Coach Zhang looking on.
Is the double there?
Yeah, the double's absolutely there.
Well, chance for another 3. Make the double here. Zhang Yilun.
Have to hit about half. One.
Push it out to get the second. Look at that. Great shot right back. Another one. Another 3 goes up on the board for China. As they now extend their lead even more. Another 3. Look at the double. Well swept by the Chinese team.
Perfect.
So now a 7-3 game, heading to the 5th end break after this one. 1, 2, move it far enough. Not a problem. There's the double for the triple for China.
Scoring in bunches. After 5, it's China 7 and Japan 3.
Well, our feature game, Japan against China. After a miss in the first for 3 points, Tori Kawana a chance here, nose hit, and score 2. Take the lead in this game, and no problem for the Japanese skip, right on the nose. 2 points for Japan. But in the third, great shot, Wang Rui, and third stone sets up. Opportunity for a big end and a nose hit This time for the Chinese, skip to score 3. And just like that, there's the 3 on the board, and China retakes the lead. And fourth end, Japan unable to get any offense mounted. They're forced to play the hit against 2 to take just a single point. And they'll get it right on the nose. We'll hang around back 4 foot. So 1 for Japan. A 3 in the 5th by China again means 7-3 after 5 as we look at the other scores. Korea leading Italy in the 5th end 5-1. Well, 7-3 our feature game on Sheet B, and Scotland doubling up Germany 4-2, and Denmark gets a deuce, tied up 4-4 against Canada.
Yeah, Denmark playing them tough, so we'll look at this.
Here's how the 2 came about.
See Stone just biting the edge of the button.
And Angelina Jensen draw the 4 foot and get a second point that way. Jennifer Jones' last one didn't quite get in for shot.
It was looking like a possible 3 for the Danes, and the Canadians cut them down a little bit, but a chance for Jensen to cash the deuce.
Well, and Angelina playing very well, 88% on the game so far.
Yeah, an impressive display this morning by Denmark. Perfect.
Yeah, right down to it. We'll get there too, so nicely done by the Danish skip. Our first time back in 8 years at a World Championship.
It's like riding a bike. Just
right back out there.
See the Team Japan huddle. Some healthy snacks. Of all of the mid-game break team snack buffets in World Curling, Team Japan always seems to have a really, really nicely presented and healthy array of stuff to nibble on. Team China, just keep doing what you're doing, says Coach Zhang. Here's the plan: get the hammer, score 3. They've done that twice.
Well, look at the numbers through 5 ends of play. 7-3 is the score. Percentage, not a lot to choose between the 2 teams at 82 each. Draw percentage, slight advantage to China. Well, the hit percentage in favor of China. Stolen point in the first on a unforced error by Tori Kawana. And they could have had 3 instead. No, China scored 2 threes and a 4-point lead. We'll come out into the 6th end of our feature game. Live coverage, Ford World Women's Curling Championship. Luke Coley, Hans Frauenlab, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be around the world watching in. Well, that's the trophy they're playing for, the World Championship trophy. Both these teams looking to position themselves, get into the top 6, make the playoffs. 13-team field, all vying to be world champions. China won World Championship to their country's history in 2009. Japan, the closest they've been was 2016, the silver medal.
Swift current, Satsuki Fujisawa. China's World Championship by Wang Bingyu. The recent Olympics. 2 teams from the Pacific Asia region on the podium in Pyeongchang in the women's event. So, curling in the Pacific Asia region of the world, growing not only in popularity on television and participation numbers, but in success as well.
So the corner guard goes real wide for Japan. They'll try and bounce back. I'm sure they had chat. Let's simplify it a little bit. Let's make sure just make the shots we need. As we look at the numbers, Yan Hui, 88% on the game, 76 for the championship.
Yeah, I agree, Luke. There's no reason to panic for Japan. What you can take away from the first half of the game is every end there have been lots of rocks in play. Had an opportunity in the first to get a 3, didn't convert it. But you tell yourself there's lots of rocks in play. There's always a chance to score multiple points. Don't need to get them all back at once. It's the 6th end, and if you just play old school curling, score 2, force 1, score 2, force 1, score 2. Still got enough runway to get yourself to an extra end, so pair here.
Well, and they've had chances the last end, really. And they've managed their last stone just a little bit better, take it deeper. Don't have the double, or the double's more difficult.
Yeah, that's
exactly. It was pretty natural.
That's exactly right. Left their stone in the exact wrong place.
Finish off the first end, you get 3, so points left out there. And now China can remove guards. Japan will try and keep some stones around, set up 2, maybe get a miss, chance at 3. 90% Zhang Xindi. Jams it on the 1, top of the 8-foot. It is China lying 2 early here. 6th end to play.
Katani. Don't want to put the commentator's curse on her.
I'm not saying anything. You can see down there, there's 3 digits. Going to put the guards back out in front. Now, Hans, some teams will make a little different strategy. Instead of the two guards, they'll draw in behind early and then try and guard up that 1. Better chance to score more if you put the 2 guards?
Conventional wisdom would say yes. Challenge with setting corner guards wide, especially when there's already 2 stones on the center line, is you may never get a chance to use them. So if you set a second corner guard, you know your opponent's just going to try and rip them. You're really hoping for a miss by setting a second corner guard, hoping for a nose hit. China playing really well, though. The confidence is growing.
Yeah, I feel it looks like a lot more comfortable. I saw them in their first game of the competition against Switzerland. They did get a win, but it wasn't as
a bit
smooth.
Scrappy. Yeah, I agree. They were sitting at 1-3 yesterday and looking gone for all money, trailing 3 in their final again and against Russia. Inexplicably, Russia let China back into that 10th end, and they made the most of it, scoring 4. And now it takes them to 2 and 3. And here you are this morning against Japan, and you've got a 4-point lead. And you might come off the ice at 3 and 3 if you can hang on for the win.
There's the hit. We'll sit top of the 8-foot. Sits in front, forces China to come after them.
Yeah, it's a good spot. Ray, 78% for the game, but the replay at the mid-end.
Key
Great.
shot.
Yeah, huge shot.
And wasn't concerned about sticking around on this one. Rolls right out, so still China lying 2. How does Japan try and generate some offense?
We can see Kawana now considering using that corner guard. She could also come around the Chinese stone in the 12-foot. A couple of options here. See, she's looking at that now. A bit of feedback from her teammate, Kawana. I think this is the better shot. If you go around the outside one, probably going to be lying 3rd shot, and China might just ignore it. Come around the red stone in the front 12-foot, you're going to be 2nd shot, and it's much harder for the Chinese to ignore. They would have to deal with it somehow.
Onodera just 55% on the game. little bit of struggles in her game so far.
Yeah. Turns it around here. Don't want to go too deep. Good shot.
Able to get shot, Stone back of the 8-foot.
Briefly considered playing the freeze to the stone in the back, but now they're asking for hack weight. Going to make a play. I like this call. You've got plan A or plan B. And plan A is to just get a little bit of contact on that stone in the front 12-foot and really treat it like a split. But if you go past it, you can get right back to the shot rock, or the second shot rock actually, but the Japanese stone. Important thing is to hit one of these two stones.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to miss. Not to miss everything.
Just catches it thin.
And will just get it out of the rings.
Oh, wow. Got
Very
away with
fortunate
it.
there. Yeah, I was looking, they may not get it, and just pushes it out.
Yeah, would have been a very bad situation to leave that Japanese stone on the rings. Got the job done. And I'll try it again. Well, the official's coming on to have a word. Perhaps a little issue
with the handle.
So technical timeout. Hear the official saying, "I'll stand at the hog line." So,
Seen that a few times where they'll just come out and rather than look at it there, they keep it, try and keep it as much of a regular flow for the player.
Yeah, that's better. Rather than trying to fix the handle. There's the umpire now standing at the hog line. So the automatic detector on the handle has been a bit of a malfunction. So we'll go back to the old manual system of having a human being at the hog line determine whether the stone's been cleanly released.
I was back in your day of curling.
Yeah, kind of back
I
in
couldn't
my day.
resist.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Came into play in 2004. The eye on the hog system, as it's called. The strip in the ice that works with a sensor in the handle.
This one needs a little bit of pace. He's going to come up light. Well, they managed to get a nibble of that 12-foot circle, but their third shot, so great chance for China to get the force and maybe a steal. Onodera wanted to get around that one in the 12-foot, but comes up just biting the front of the 12-foot. The automatic hogline detection system, a Canadian invention.
Actually brought in by a professor at the University of Saskatchewan. It was a concept for a group of electrical engineering students to come up with the idea. It was first put in by Curling Canada, and then brought into the World Curling Federation as well. So you see Zhang Yi Lun, 73%.
Well, I can tell you, and you're absolutely right, Luke, back in the day when I was playing, I did play in the day of judges standing at the hog line and making a judgment, and players hated it. Absolutely hated it. Very challenging for the official when a player is sliding like a rocket. I think about teams like the Finnish teams of Marko Uussi, Pavel Niemi, and players that would be sliding like a rocket, and you're trying to detect it with the human eye. If somebody's released the stone at the hog line or not, almost impossible.
And even before, sometimes it'd be some officials making note of who was close.
Yeah.
And watching a little closer.
Absolutely.
Just brought a human element. Sometimes it's good to take the human elements out of some things.
Yeah.
Obviously, the human element of the curler skills in the shot making. is great right now, and using the sweeping, the effect that they have on it.
Yeah, that used to be an official stat. I remember playing at the Worlds in Lausanne in 2001. We'd have part of the stat sheet that would say hog line violations and closes if you're close to the hog line. And for Team New Zealand, we took pride even kind of getting near the hog line. Did I get a close this week?
78%. Tori Kawana trying to make this double.
Oh, good shot's going to jam, though.
Oh, it does jam, and that actually takes away that one in the top of the 12-foot, that biter, as a possibility coming in as a factor later in the end on the last stone.
Yeah.
Now nose hit to lie 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult final shot, more than likely for Tori Kawana. We'll look at the replay here. Makes the double takeout, but it jams on the stone to the right of our picture, leaving China lying second and third shot. And the shot rock is wide open for Zhang Yilun. Wasting no time.
Nose hit here, perfect for them.
Yeah, it's pretty much anywhere as long as you're not jamming the stone in the back.
A little roll, lies 1, 2, 3, and that's going to get a force. Perfect end for China to get a force, get the hammer back. They've been pretty efficient so far in the game scoring with the hammer.
Yeah, absolutely. More than efficient. Scoring in bunches. We've had 2 threes. Needs to stick around.
Nicely done, just right on the nose. Hit the stick, but just 1 for Japan. Cutting into that lead, they needed a multiple score there. They trail 7-4, and they give last stone advantage back to China, heading to the 7th end. Well, a lot of red and white in the crowd cheering on Team Canada, but a lot of flags from all the 13 nations here in competition, including Japan and China. Our feature game here on a Tuesday morning. Luke Coley, Hans Frauenlob for our feature game, and it is China in control of this one. And interesting to see what the game could have been or would have been had we saw Kawana make shot for 3 in the first end.
Very much so, Luke. Japan looked like they had the chance to get off to the best possible start. Kawana could not convert in the first end. China got an unlikely steal, and since that moment, it's like flicking the switch on a light. China has played really well ever since. And they are firmly in control. 3 up with the hammer here on end number 7. Looking very good, looking very composed. This one's sliding a bit deep though. Stick around. Just hangs on the back of the 12-foot.
Well, knowing that Japan's got to go hard to try and get a steal now, with 4 ends remaining, down by 3. Can't really. Japan has to sort of forego thinking about trying to go force 2. They got to try and steal.
Yeah. Now, absolutely, you need to shift gears strategically and take more risks. China will absolutely not use the Russian strategy of 3 up and throw guards. They will clear guards as soon as they possibly can and bring the stones into the rings. Yan Hui being asked to bring another stone in the rings. Like to get a little bit of cover behind those center guards before China gets a chance to rip them. They are still in the free guard zone part of the end, so can't clear yet. This one's got a bit of heat. It's also going to slide deep. Not what China wanted. Stones in the back of the house gives Japan something that could be jammed on or could be frozen too.
So opportunity to get one in a good steal position now for it. Japanese foursome.
Yeah, 2 center guards are there. Time to use them. You can be pretty sure that unless the stone stays totally in the open, and even if it is totally in the open, that China will start clearing guards as soon as they can.
Well, look over. Canada, Denmark trading deuces back and forth in a 4-4 game. Nose hit now. Jennifer Jones, chance to get 2 right back. Make it a 6-4 game. Jennifer Jones in trip number 6 to the World Championship. Will make the nose hit, score 2. Trying to win her 2nd world title. It's been 10 years since she won her lone world championship. We'll slide over Italy and Korea 7-1. Korea leading. Diana Gaspari, after giving up the steal of 2 in the 5th end, here trying to make the single point count. Facing those multiple counters. Not a problem, but just 1. Yeah. Tough shot for her in the 2nd to score 1. There, has to hit against 2. Trails 7-2 after 6.
Team Korea looking impressive again this morning.
Yeah, looking for a bounce back after their first loss. Korea at 3-1 against Italy, who is 2-3. Italy will be back on the ice against Germany this afternoon. Korea plays China.
Right, that'll be a good game. Very good game. Should be something to look forward to. Interesting choice here for China. You got a couple of options. We'll just update all the scores. Korea 7-2 over Italy. China 7-4 over Japan. Scotland 7-2 over Germany, and Canada 6-4 over Denmark. You could clear the center guards, but the shot stone wide open, so China's going to try and make a play on it. Oh, just navigating past those center guards. Nicely played. The guards will kill you. A lot of teams in this situation would double clear the front.
Well, China lying 3.
Yeah.
There are a couple guards, though, for Japan. Can almost play a little tap and roll.
Yeah, you could push that red stone back into the back of the forefoot. Leave your stone sitting in front of it. You could come around it. You could just freeze it. You could throw your stone directly in front of the Chinese rock. All depends how aggressively you want to go for a steal.
Well, I think they don't. I think you have to now at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether you give up, if you give up 2,
yep,
or you give up
3,
6,
exactly.
It's going to be the same difference.
Yeah, I agree. If you're going for it, go for it.
Yeah, it's like normally you have a strategy coming in. What's our game plan in the end? What's our perfect outcome?
Now, this one's got a bit of weight.
Well, hits rolls in the open. There's still a couple of guards. Those 2 in the back now make this hit more difficult than it needs to be.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why the Chinese weren't that happy about those draws. They wanted them in the rings, but they didn't want them in the back of the rings. Now they become a bit of an annoyance for them, trying to remove the Japanese rock. Jiang Yilun. Just patting her collarbone area. That's a weight indication for Wang Rei, how hard they want this stone to be thrown.
And each team will have a different different indicator.
Yeah. Really important, though. You don't want to be playing guess the weight. You always want to know exactly how hard the stone needs to be thrown, because that determines the amount of curl of the shot in progress. And Wang Rei threading the needle at the back, leaving China lying 3.
So here's a case now where if your strategy is to steal, which it looked like it was, that's pretty clear what your play is then.
Totally. Ignore the Chinese stones. Get behind cover of those center guards.
You made the hit actually on the last one. Got the nose hit back.
Koho Onodera's had her struggles today, but really needs this one for her teammates right here and right now. Japan going all in for the steal here on end number 7. He's tracking a bit wide. He's got a ton of curling to do. Might feather off the Chinese stone and redirect.
A little rub. Just lost that little touch, took the steam off it needed to get in behind.
Yeah, killed the momentum. Left them sitting not wide open. A great look at it from the hack end. 3/4 of it available for China. Good news for China. Takes all the jams away. You can hit any portion of what you can see and you'll be safe. You'll be lying at least 3.
Well, that's all China's done in this game is score 3s with the hammer. It's their 3rd end with the hammer.
Said at the halftime break, coach came on the ice. That's the strategy today. Get the hammer, score 3.
Oh, another Chinese stone accumulating. Oh, it actually just rolls out. I thought it was going to just stick around.
Yeah, waiting for that spin back on the last, but didn't come that time.
Another opportunity. Seen this one now. It's the second look to try and get in behind.
It will now be Tori Kawana with the opportunity to make this come around. Onodera was a bit wide with her attempt. Good weight. So we're just going to check with each other. Was it the line or were you a bit full? How's the weight? Really do need to sink this one behind those center guards. Characteristic intern setup, rotate back. Do the interval time on this one between the 2 hog lines.
Seen about 14.5 for T-line weight throughout the week.
14 and change. It's going to be in the neighborhood.
Just has to curl.
Yeah, again, well by the guards. Great weight, but not great line.
Yeah, another chance to get rid of it, and this time try and hit and stick around, make the draw that much more pressure on it to make it.
Yeah, this is a extreme danger zone for Team Japan now. Jang Yi-lun hits, rolls 2 rocks to the right as we're looking at it, gets behind cover of that stone in the front 8-foot. Tori Kawana has one more chance at getting behind cover. If she doesn't do that, try and chips it out, they might get 5.
For China here, you're better to hit and roll out than to nosing it and sitting there.
That's right, Luke. Yeah, nose hit, the only bad result for China in this situation. Well, wrecking the guard would be a bad result.
Yes. Guard didn't seem as a big factor in there.
Little outside roll. So it'll be interesting now for Tori Kawana. If you draw behind cover, do you get shot? That's the question. Can't go all the way to the tee line because if China could just hit their own, jump off it, get you that way. You need at least a piece of the button to get shot. So you're probably going to have to make a play on this stone as opposed to drawing. Don't really want to, but hitting a little flop behind the guards, that's probably the play. You can tell that she really wants to draw, but she's going to.
Yeah, I'm going to go with this turn. That if
it's a good call. I like it.
Or not.
The reason I like the call is you're coming away from the pile. If you ever get to the button around the corner guards, get a piece of the button. You still got the problem for the Chinese that they could jump off their own stone and get you, though. So the decision after all is to play the stone on the edge of the button. One of my teammates, Dan Mustapik, has a saying. It's a real truism, but I like it. The toughest shots in curling is a hit and roll when you need it. They absolutely need the roll.
Well, facing 4. Make a good roll. Crucial for Tori Kawana. 22-year-old skip.
Real desperation in the voices of the sweeping call. Have they held the line?
I'll hit, and it will roll out, so it's going to be a free draw to the house for 4.
Wow. China scored a 4 last night to win the game against Russia, and a chance for another 4 here.
And a 4 might seal this one against the rivals from Japan.
Wow.
China trying to even the record at 3-3. If they can pick up the 4, they might get that 3rd win. Well, Japan at 3-1 coming into this session. Just a light dusting of this one. As they can come to their own, they will tap that one back, and there it is for 4. And handshakes, as it is a victory for China. That moves them to 3-3 as they knock off Japan, who falls to 3-2. It'll go down an 11-4 China win.
It was a really impressive performance this morning by Jang Yi-lun and her teammates. Full value for the victory. Deadly with the hammer. A 3, a 3, and a 4. Really convincing. Well played.
In the future. No problem.
Well, the signature makes it official, puts it down. As China gets the victory. They now sit 3-3. Well, keeping you up to date, Italy and Korea. We're going to pick you up with this one. We'll give you a look at what is happening. 7-2 in the 7th end. Final shot here. Olympic silver medalist Kim Young-jung. Facing that one in the back of the 8-foot, has to draw the 4-foot to pick up a single point. But it's going to slide deep. I'll chip off that one, and it's going to be a steal of one for Italy. So the 3rd point of the game, the first of the steal goes to Italy and Diana Gaspari. They get set for the 8th end. Let's look at the line score there. Korea scoring 2 in the first with the hammer, a force, then 3 in the 3rd, stealing 2 in the 5th. Back-to-back singles by Italy has us 7-3. So we are into end number 8. Italy and Korea. Italy knows they need to try and go hard at the steal. So, high center line guard. The Korean lead, Kim Young-mi. Well, top of the 4-foot, so now the 2nd center line guard. The Italian lead at 77% on the game, Angela Romai. Well, they want to try and get these two separated. They don't get it too far apart from the other one, and we'll see Korea aggressively go right in behind again. Korea's been very efficient, 46% scoring 2 or more with the hammer. Scored a couple 4s, a 3, 2 3s now. Very offensive team, especially with the hammer. Kim Cho-hee try and put a second one in good position. Stefania Constantini, second for Italy, 82% on the game. Well, trying to go for the steal, knowing those guards are going to be peeled right away. Kim Sung-young. Second for this Korean team, 86% on the game. They lost last night to Sweden. Well, plays the peel, but ends up leaving 2 guards still in play as that went to the side of the button. Again, this bonus coverage is our feature game. China, Japan ended early. We've slid over now Korea taking on Italy on sheet A. Korea does have the hammer and a 4-point lead.
It's nothing quite like hearing an Italian curling conversation. It just sounds so awesome. Stefania Constantini settles in.
Well, in our earlier game, we had one young player, 17-year-old Constantini, just 18.
Youth must be served, Luke.
She will turn 19 next month. And actually, her sports hero is Nicholas Adine.
Good choice.
Well, trying to get there. This will serve as another guard, protecting that one. Well, actually comes right in, doesn't protect the one side of the button.
Yeah, it was almost too good. Overcurled. Kim Eun-jung always playing the percentages. Attempting to make a play on the stone in the ring. You're up 4. Get rid of the guards.
Oh, there's the double peel. That'll open everything up.
Sun Young Kim. Seen her make so many of those at Olympics. Double clears, get you out of trouble. There's Sunny. This Korean team, one of the reasons they became so popular worldwide. And they're traveling outside of Korea to North America to play in curling events. They wanted to improve their English language skills, so they decided to give themselves nicknames, English nicknames.
Sunny, Pancake, Steak.
Steak and Annie. So you can safely assume that this is a team that enjoys breakfast.
Steak and eggs for breakfast.
Yep, pancakes. It's really pretty.
Trying to replace that, those two guards with just one.
It's a good shot.
Peel one, you can try and go after the other one.
Veronica Saponi putting that guard in place.
Oh, young fan trying to keep his eyes open. Her eyes open, I should say.
You got the full array there. You got the toys, you've got the curling hat. Life is good.
Almost set up quite like you up here, Hans.
Haven't got the curling hat. I'm going to have to go into town and look for that one. I'm reliably informed there's a shop in town with the curling stone hats. I'm going to have to find it.
Kim Kayong 8.
Ba-boom.
Gets everything.
Nice shot.
I didn't mind the effort at the double peel, but I thought the single peel would be the safe call because you don't move those around. Now Italy can guard up. There's still going to be outs for Korea, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, not at all. Korea will
Peel the
always
one,
be
you still
happy
have
to
those.
blast guards, no doubt. They've got full confidence. Once the stones are in the rings, they'll be thinking easy pickings for double takeouts. That's just the way they think. First time I saw this team was in 2014 at the Pacific Asia Championships in Kurizawa, Japan, and I was so impressed with just how confident they were, Luke. They would be playing angle run-ins, corner freezes without even thinking about it. Just go for it and make it. Nice guard there by Spony.
Yeah, they started with the two centerline guards. They're trying to go all out. We saw it as our feature game ended. It was the same scenario. You're going all out. You know you got to try and steal.
So Team Kim in the situation now where you're very much playing the scoreboard. There we see some of the Korean fans looking on. Mentioned in our show how popular this team became in South Korea during the Winter Olympics. They became really national icons instantly. Kyung-hae. There we see some of the Korean support here at the North Bay Memorial Gardens. Drives it back, just tickles the stone in the rings and just nudges it aside a little bit, but leaves it there. It was truly a phenomenon. I've rarely seen anything like it, where people who were relatively unknown over the course of 4 days became really not just national heroes, but actually a phenomenon. Part of the reason they became a phenomenon was just the sweeping calls of Eun Kim. She'll use the players' names when they're calling the sweeping, and one of her sweepers is Young Mi. When Eun calling sweeping, she'll often be calling Young Mi, Young Mi. And for people in Korea that were watching curling for the first time, that they thought that's how you call sweeping.
A scale in the name.
Young Mi. Diana Gaspari.
33-year-old skip. She's in her 11th World Championship.
Yeah.
She's the most experienced skip. Number of appearances. Puts that guard out in front. Hoping to make the playoffs here. Her best finish was, she's done it 3 times, finishing 9th. 2003, 2004, 2006. Last year finishing 10th in Beijing. She did win the bronze medal at the European Championships just last year.
And they were very happy about that. That was a bit of a resurgence for Italian curling. Italian men's team competed at the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. Joe Latornes and his teammates.
Yeah, and they're a team that on the men's side that's really growing too. Mozaner, some of the shots that he makes, the accuracy with his hit weight that he can throw is pretty impressive.
They're a team with promise. If you ever want to see a celebration, watch Mozaner's final stone in the Olympic qualifying event. He made a fantastic double takeout to clinch their Olympic place, and the post-shot celebration was worth the victory. It was amazing.
Kim Young-jung, 27-year-old. Well, taps one of those reds out. Still shot stone for Italy.
Good shot, though. I mean, this is a situation where you're very much playing the scoreboard. And you know, even though it's uncomfortable, if Italy steals a single point in 8, 9, and 10, you're still going to walk off with the victory. So the only danger zone here for Korea is if Italy steals 2. Exactly right.
And they're going to call a timeout, that being Italy.
Da spostarla un minimo, così poi non ha più tutto gioco. E c'è anche l'appoggio qua. Esatto. Metti che anche la prendesse dritta non va per niente male. Però,
a little tap and roll, or even just straight in-turn draw.
Could do. I'd be inclined to just weld it right on top of your own.
O punto diretto. Yes. 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 Little roll. How much? 10.
Soren gone.
11. Ah, it. Ah, in effetti. Ok, quindi 11 o 10 mezzo. Ok.
I like the comment from Soren is, you want to lie too, right? No, it's not what shot call. It's
yeah, need to lie too.
different ways you could do that, hit and roll. Even if you hit it, and if you want to play the simpler shot and play the hit, and that's fine too. Even if you roll away, but preferred to roll in, he says.
Yes, that'd be much better. It's a short roll, and about a 1.5 rock widths to our right as we're looking at it on our overhead to corner freeze their own and get behind that center guard. She could get it there on the roll. That'd be a really tough final shot for Kim Eun-jung. Where's the roll going? It's going to the outside.
So now, doesn't quite roll out in the open. Don't think you'll see it played. There's a chance at the double.
Yeah, if it would have rolled maybe a half a rock less, you might think about the double takeout. But game situation being what it is, it's a bit risky. Draw it into the 4 foot. Worst thing happens, you cut them down to 1. There you see maybe half of it available. You'd have to flirt with the guard if you made a play at it, though. That's unnecessary risk for Kim Eun-jung, so she'll draw. But a nice shot there by Gaspari. She's making them work for it. Half the button is available.
You can move it too here for the Korean skip.
Yeah.
Kim Young-jung. Final stone here of this 8th end.
No line yet. No contact, no contact, no contact.
Gotta touch something. Chip, slide by, steal a 1, steal a 2. And just like that, now 7-5.
Now it's a new game. That's the situation they were looking to avoid, a steal of 2, but Diana Gaspari hanging on.
So a 2-point game after 8. Italy got some life. We'll head to the final 2 ends of this game. Well, look at those 3 straight scores by Italy. Has them back 7-5 the score now. Luke Ole, Hans Frauenlab, as we move over now our feature game here. Italy taking on Korea as we are in session 9. Korea had a 7-1 lead at one point, now 7-5, playing 9.
Yeah, big steal of 2 there in the 8th. Gives the Italians a glimmer of hope. Still have to steal your way home, but you got a chance now.
So center line guards. As we look over, Canada lying 3 has a chance to draw, lie 4 or score 4, pardon me. And who knows, that might be enough if Jennifer can make this out-turn draw to her own.
Yeah, Denmark's been playing them tough today, but great chance here for the Canadians to really put the game away.
Well, just guiding this one in, no real problem there. And that is enough. Denmark decided 10-5, that's enough. They'll concede, fall to 1-4. Well, Canada improves to 5-0.
Yeah, Canada now on a collision course with Sweden at the top of the table. I think their round-robin game is going to be highly anticipated.
Well, Canada plays Scotland in the evening session tonight. Then they'll have the morning off. Then we'll play Korea in the afternoon, Sweden tomorrow night.
Well, that's a big day for Canada tomorrow, isn't it?
That'll determine basically if they're going to be in the one of the 1-2 teams probably, or in the 3 versus 6.
For Korea, sitting on a single loss, they can't let this one slip away if they've got hopes of being in that top 2. Need to finish the job here against Italy, and Italy giving them everything they can handle. A nice freeze there. Great shot. Comparison there at the lead position, Angela Romay and Kim Cho-hee.
Yeah, and it's the first game in there for Kim Cho-hee, 93%. Normally, Kim Young-mi was in the game. They decided to give her a game off. It's been a lot of curling for these girls, the Garlic girls. They become known.
Yeah. Had a lot of media demands and general attention since the Olympic spotlight shone brightly on them in Gangneung. So the end set up again pretty well for Italy. Got the center guard, got their own stone front button. Stefania Constantini.
Well, Stefania playing in her first World Championship.
It's a big deal.
Played in the Youth Olympic Games, one of the new events they've got going. In 2016, finished 9th. I was a member of the bronze medal European squad, this team that won bronze in Switzerland just last year.
Good international experience for Stefania early in her career, but your first World Championships or your first Olympics is something you'll always remember. And here in North Bay, Stefania, first of possibly many World Championships in her future. Straight back.
Just misses that one and kills their own in the back. Still shot stone Korea back button.
Yeah, danger though. 2 center guards now for Italy to work with and their own stone at the front of the button. So it's an ideal situation for Italy as far as setting up another steal. They can steal their way to victory from here. Steal 9, steal 10, steal the extra end.
Look at the comparison of seconds. Kim Sung-young, 88%. Stefania Constantini at 81%. Good numbers for both seconds.
Diana Gaspari lining things up. Constantini. Diana Gaspari wanting to know where is it. It's the job of the sweepers to give feedback to the skip reading the line. Where's it going? Where's the weight? Top 8. Quarter behind cover. Once again, Italy building up a really good end.
Well, they got their 1 steal at 2 they needed, so they steal. Yeah. They'll force an extra to try and steal another.
Yep, the steal of 2 changes everything. Now it's realistic. They double clear the center. There's a lot of distance between the guards. Really hard to make the double clear without leaving a center guard yourself. Sun Young Kim.
Well, gets 2 reds, and again, leaves a couple guards out in front by playing those peels, and catching them thick, trying to go after the double peel.
That's the benefit of the separation between the guards, Luke. It's always going to make that likely.
Now is the chance, do you go back button? Do you make that freeze now?
You certainly could. You may not get another opportunity to make that play. Ideal setup for it, so certainly worthwhile having a go at it right now. Veronica Zaboni. Trying to bring this into the rings. It's going to come up just biting the top of the 12-foot.
Just not quite enough speed on that one for Zapone.
So a decision now for Korea. Do you double clear the guards, or do you give in to the temptation of trying to double take it on the two Italian stones? You are still sitting shot at the back of the button. Good news from a Korean perspective is now that you're clearing guards that are your own stones, and so if you get some action, get them running back towards the pile, you might get a bonus and clip something in the rings on the way by. Kim Kyung-hae. Tiny bit of action on that second one. Punching
Just
into the rings.
changes it ever so slightly, but opens up that front and important rolls the shooter off as well.
Yeah, she's given herself two options now. Opens a path to the Italian stone front button. Leaves her own stone sitting in the front of the 12-foot. That is a shortish run back. Comparison there, and the teams throwing the third stones.
Wow.
Nice game for both of them in the 90s.
Real good numbers in this one. Zapone, 24-year-old. Much younger team than past teams that have played with Gaspari. She's the oldest member of the team, 33. Constantini, 18. Romai, 21.
Just grazing the Korean stone. Popping, covering their own.
Chance to make the double with that one rolling off of it.
Yeah. Kim Kyung-hae will just try to drive this nearly straight back. She can pick off the Italian stone sitting front button. Only danger here is over curling. Red jam on their own stone in the back of the button.
I think a little outside when she played that.
Yeah.
Played that cautious, I think.
Right out of hand, it was a little bit full. So the hope for the steal is still very much alive for Italy. Korea's line one, but that stone has been sitting there for most of the end, just in the front of the button. Let's watch the release here of Kim Kyung-hae.
Didn't like it right away. There was a whoa.
Yeah, just that little push there on the release, just took it slightly offline. She knew it. She expects to make those. I mean, she's normally really accurate on the big weight takeouts.
It's funny, you didn't even need to see what happened on that. You could tell from the reaction that it wasn't what she wanted.
It wasn't plan A. Did clear the guard. Diana Gaspari now. Be interesting to see where she decides to leave this. You could play this right into the top of the 4-foot around the guards if you wanted to. You are going to have to move that Korean stone or get nearer to the pin, either on this shot or your next shot.
I like their... Another one in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't have mind. If you're going to make that play, I think you come right into the 4-foot.
Well, big discrepancy between the skips for stone throwers.
Yeah, Kim and Jung at 80%, Diana Gaspari at 69. But at this point in the game, you throw the shooting percentages out the window, and you think we're just in a good old-fashioned scrap here. Claw and scratch your way to keep stealing points and keep yourself alive. Kim and Jung looking at the yellow raised double takeout. I love this team. They just line them up, throw them with confidence, trying to drive the yellow almost straight back, just slightly off nose, yellow onto red, pick off both the reds, leave themselves lying two if she can make it. Huge shot if she converts.
First of skip stones, the Korean skip.
Whoa, right away.
Close.
Oh,
right
look at
over
that.
the top to line two. Raised double.
Fantastic. They call the tough shots, they make the tough shots. Fantastic shot by Kim Eun-jung.
Well, close the whole way and clears those and lies two. Opens up that one back button. It's an out and a chance now for Italy if they can weld one on.
Yeah. It does ratchet up the already high degree of difficulty for Diana Gaspari. Kim Eun-jung watching the replay on the scoreboard here, surveying her work. Never really can tell from her expression whether she's nervous, happy, excited, delighted. Just has a really calm demeanor out there. Gaspari must drill this one on the button, needs to get in front of that Korean stone.
Well, coming into this session, they were a game back of that final playoff spot. A loss puts them 2 back.
Game on the line here.
Has to curl, try and put this one right on the face. Look at that.
Fantastic shot by Diana Gaspari. How good is that? Fantastic.
Well, shot for shot. Puts that one right on the Ford logo.
We have got a good old-fashioned scrap right here, folks. What a great finish. Raised double takeout. Kim Eun-jung, Diana Gaspari says, okay, I'll see your raised double takeout and I will ante up by drilling the lid and covering the pin. Over to you.
If you go straight back, you only got to hold your shooter there. And get everything moving.
It's pretty much locked, but Kim Eun-jung just going to try to nose hit this stone. Drive it straight back, hitting the Italian stone on an angle. And hope that it springs.
Well, right away, got to get the nose. And it's going to over curl, and it's going to be another steal. A 1-point game now, heading to 10. Italy keeping themselves alive as we will head to the 10th. Korea trying to stop the slide. Was 7-1, it's now 7-6 after 9. Well, the Ford World Women's Curling Championship 2018, Luke-Ole Hans Frauenlob. As we play the 10th in now, a 1-point game, Italy and Korea. Our feature game ended early, so we move over to feature this one, and it's been quite the comeback so far. Italy trying to cap it off. One more to go to tie. Well, Korea is hoping to hold on and bounce back after their first loss last night.
This could be the biggest comeback since Lazarus. Full value for it too. The Italians have gotten the end set up fantastically. That last stone of Deanna Gaspari's in the 9th, drilling it on the lid.
Well, change of strategy the last couple ends. Korea's went into the rings. Now they're playing the tick shot. Kim Cho-hee.
And when you get in a situation like this where you've had a commanding lead and you're really just trying to run the game out, and then it's steal, steal, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. The momentum changes, and all of a sudden it's feeling like, gosh, it's just slipping away from us here. So you do change your tactics.
Well, look at that tick shot. We'll push that one out of the rings into that dead zone in the back.
Really nice shot.
And for Kim Cho-hee, who's not used to playing every game, has stepped in and
that's right. You're the alternate. Well. Exactly right. You're in the alternate spot, and now you're coming on the ice and playing, and you have to make a tick shot to kind of close out a win.
Well, coming in, she's throwing a 93% game right now, too.
Yeah, that's right. Young Mi may have a hard time playing her way back into the lineup.
But you see some teams use the 5th player to get a bit of a rest for some of them here. So that's a good plan because...
Yeah, it's a long week. It's a 12-game round robin now. It's a 13-team event. It's a lot of curling over the course of a week. And this Korean team does use their sweepers a lot. Young Mi Kim is an engine at the front end, the lead position for Korea. She will do a lot of sweeping over the course of the week.
Well, they come after a game last night, then they're back on the ice this morning. So it's get in, use that extra body that you have to your advantage. And then they have the afternoon off. So Kim Young-mi gets basically 2 draws off to get ready for almost a full day between games, which some people like, some people don't.
Yeah, she could do some ice fishing. This one is going to get to the boards. Free guard zone in effect. That one's going to come back.
Well, the Yellowstone will get pulled either way. Because even if that one didn't hit the boards, it'd be pulled because the shooter, the offending stone, gets pulled out of play on the free guard zone rule.
4-rock free guard zone in effect here at the World Curling Federation events for the rest of this Northern Hemisphere curling season. Next season, moving to the 5-rock free guard zone.
So Italy a chance, get it set up again. 10th end trying to steal 1 to tie, 2 would be to win.
Yeah, at the 6th end, Team Italy, you'd be looking for the resuscitation paddles to try and have a pulse, but now that faint pulse has turned into a slightly stronger pulse, and now it's a strong beating heart, and they could come off the ice, the winners here, if they can steal this 10th end.
Well, coming into this game, it had only been 2 ends that were stolen against the Korean side. They've just given up 3 straight stolen ends.
Yeah, trying to stop the bleeding, really. Little outside roll. Nice shot. Deanna Gaspari immediately calling for a tight center guard. Italy battling valiantly and successfully scrapping their way back into this game. Don't really want to come into the rings on this one. They'd love it to be a tight center guard. Want to leave it as high as they can, close to the rings. Very nice shot. Italy once again getting it set up perfectly for a steal. Tons of separation. That first guard being just over the hog line. Deliberate from the Italians. They wanted to keep as much distance as possible between the center guards, so it's very difficult for Korea to double run them.
Kim Sung-young just peel the 1, not try and go after the double peel. Get that first one.
So the decision now for the Italians, do you set one more long guard, or when do you come into the rings? You're going to have to come in sometime.
You'd love to try and lie to the potential winning points in this.
Yeah. Ideally.
Force Korea to throw against 2.
Yeah, psychologically, it's a big difference if you're making your opponent look at losing the game as opposed to just tying the game and going to an extra end. Work to do yet before that situation comes apart, though. So it's going to come up short. Keep that gap between the guards. This one's, though, sliding tightish. Hear the frustration in the voice of Gaspari. She knows that brings the double clear right into the equation right now. Zappone. She knows.
Body language tells it all.
Yeah, guards are very much under threat now, and the guards are, Korea calling for a technical timeout, asking for the clock to be stopped. There must be an issue with the handle, the hogline detector. The official saying, I will stand at the hogline to watch the release. We'll do it manually.
Time clock's not an issue for either team in this one, both in the 7-minute window. But they want to save those seconds, and also just to bring the official out. You see when they make the X with their hands.
Yeah, it's a signal for a technical timeout. Stop the clock. Big shot here for Korea. Great chance to open up the center.
Just like that.
Oh, Kim Kyung-ae delivers a double clear. Great shot. That will reduce the blood pressure a little bit for Kim Eun-jung. All of a sudden, that 4-foot and 8-foot are wide open for Korea. Great shot. Zappone.
I think right away they thought she was quite light. They got on it right away. Trying to get this to the center line, something that they can use.
And for distance as well. They know if the guard is too long, even if they can hide behind it, it still might be available for Korea to make a play on the stone in the rings. But Kim Eun-jung immediately up to that guard and will ask Kim Kyung-ae to peel it. There's a whoa right out of hand. Has she got any contact?
Nothing.
No.
Right by, so the double peel and then the flash.
Wow.
Life right back for Italy.
Wow.
Allora abbiamo il timeout e 7 minuti. No, timeout non c'è abbiamo 7 minuti.
In the immortal words of that baseball philosopher Yogi Berra, it ain't over till it's over, and this ain't over.
Well, Italy hopefully hoping for deja vu all over again.
Absolutely. So Diana Gaspari drill one to the button in the 9th end to set up the steal.
Well, it's been 3 straight ends of misses on the last rock by Kim Eun-jung.
Yeah, the saver now for the Koreans, at least here in end number 10, is that center guard is pretty long. Even if Gaspari can get this stone into the front 4-foot, still might have a corner available for Kim Eun-jung to make a play at. 14.5 to the tee line.
Well, they got some work to do on this one.
It's going to get a piece, but it's going to be second shot.
And almost completely open out the other side of that halfway guard. To me right now, that one tight to the rings is the danger one.
I agree. If If you clear the center guard, all Gaspari is going to do is just go right around the one that she just threw. So I agree with you that the stone at the front of the house is actually the danger rock for Korea.
하나만. 경혜 내 거는 조금만 더 바깥으로. 좀 얇아야 돼.
The trouble is, if you make a play out on the in turn, catch it thin, pick your own off. That stone in the 8-foot's your saver right now. That's your winning point, potentially.
Well, you make the double peel, it doesn't matter either way.
That's true.
And gets away without catching their own.
Oh, boy. Well, here we go again, folks. Diana Gaspari.
Pressure's on now on Gaspari, and she's got that stone biting the top of the 12-foot.
Okay.
A couple of ways you could play this. That's the sensible play. Just draw around, but you could play a hit on the Korean stone, roll behind the one, and make them look at 2.
What do you like?
Well, I like this call. Hit and roll to get the stone to roll to a precise spot is that's a tougher play.
This seems like the easier way to try and steal one.
Yeah.
The other way is to
make them look at lose. Exactly.
Yeah. Mind you, you make the hit and roll perfect. It's a better shot than the straight draw if you put it in the same spot. But
yeah, higher degree of difficulty. And Gaspari's been throwing a lot of these draws in the last few ends, so stick with the shot that's been getting it done for you.
Her numbers show are low on the draw accuracy, but has made them in the last couple ends when needed.
She needs this one. Sweepers are not brushing this at all. Is it heavy?
Needs good 8-foot or better.
Also needs cover, but well by the guard. Needs some protection. Needs some protection.
Well, right to the button, but the sweepers couldn't do anything. Had to wait for it to curl.
Just hides a corner, but maybe not enough protection for Diana Gaspari. Needed it behind that stone, and there's a great look at it from the perspective of Kim Un-jung when she gets into the hack to throw it.
And doesn't have to stick around.
Exactly. That saver rock in the 8-foot circle reduces the pressure a ton. She can play this like a peel if she wanted to.
Well, they'll use the sweepers here for Korea. Italy has valiantly fought back and fought back. Have the potential tying points in shot stone position.
Well, we've seen one. We've seen one hit flashed already in this end. Now we see the brush being tightened up considerably. Now she's going to be playing peel weight.
She'll throw this harder, keep it straight, take any of that guessing game out of it.
Yeah, you don't need air between your stone and the target rock on this one.
86%. Kim Young-jung, chance to win the game, move to 4-1. Stay close to the leaders, Sweden and Canada.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Still moving out. Has she got any contact?
Make that one go away.
It's a miss!
And another miss. Italy steals again, their 4th straight steal. They tightened it up so that wasn't a possibility. Got it out a little bit. And what are you thinking now if you're Korea? Italy, all the momentum. 7-7. This was a 7-1 game in the 5th end break.
We're going to an extra end.
Free curling, everyone. 7-7 after 10. Well, the North Bay Memorial Gardens in the Ford World Women's Curling Championship. We are in an extra end now. Italy and Korea, 7-7. Lukoli, Hans Frauenlob, the last game out on the ice. You wouldn't have thought that after 5. It was 7-1, and Italy only gets 1 back in the 6th. Steal 1, steal 2, steal 1, steal 1. As you see on the score there, 7-7.
Well, men's world championship is going to be in Las Vegas.
Oh, there's a mistake, though, to start off the end, though, going in the rings.
Yeah, that's a bit of relief there for Korea. But, yeah, if you're Italy right now, you're playing with house money. Gamble, gamble, gamble. Hope that you have a chance to stay in the game. And here you are in an extra end. Unbelievable. But, yeah, big mistake there by Romé coming into the rings.
Well, have to try and regroup, get this guard out in front. Angela Romé.
Yeah, the psychology of this Italian team would be really interesting after that 6th end. You're scoring 1, your opponent's got the hammer, you're down 5, and you keep telling yourself, okay, just keep fighting. Just keep playing. See what happens. Keep playing. In your mind, you're thinking, there's no chance. We're dead.
Yeah. The team that had been playing so well is in Korea. So the tight centerline guard.
Yeah. But then you steal a point. And then, okay, we're still dead. Well, keep playing. Keep playing. Then you steal 2. And then you're thinking, oh, okay, we're still pretty dead. We'll keep playing. Then you steal
another
again.
Steal. We're within 1 play in the 10th end, and
then you steal 10. Now you're in an extra end. Now you're thinking, is it destiny?
Well, the chip shot.
Yeah, nice shot.
Pushes that one in. And it is Korea lying too early on. No guards in play.
For Korea, on the other hand, psychologically, after that 6th end, you're thinking, okay, just finish it out.
Get a score. Don't
Score
just
2
worry about
here,
scoring.
shake hands, we'll go have a rest. Then you give up a steal. Then you give up another steal. Then you give up another steal. Then you give up another steal. Now psychologically, it's like you're in a heavyweight battle and you've been hit with consecutive roundhouse lefts to the head. You're reeling. You're in a place that you didn't expect to be. Now you're in an extra end. You're the only game out there. Everybody's watching. You've given up a 5-point lead. Now there's a realistic chance that you're going to lose this game. You need to be incredibly mentally tough in this situation if you're Korea. Just stay in the present.
Well, she hasn't been able to bounce back after any of these steals. Missed the last shot. The last 4 ends. Some not overly difficult shots. Say that 1 in 10. Gaspari didn't put it nearly where she wanted to. Could see 3/4 of it.
Yeah, just a little wayward with the release. Both we saw a missed clear from Kim Kyung-ae. Just a little bit extra weight on the clear, floated it out. Tracks, miss. Kim Eun-jung, same thing. Peel weight, a little bit positive with the release, floats it out a fraction. That's all it takes with that big weight.
Stefania Constantini, they'll try and put the guard up, see if they can get a mistake. It hasn't just been the skip for Korea and Kim Young-jung. There's been mistakes throughout the lineup throughout. The missed tick shot in the 10th, like you said, the flash. Kim Kyung-ae.
Give credit where it's due to the Italians, though. They've been setting up fantastically well in the entire second half of this game. Setting up those steals. Some great shots late in the end by Gaspari to put themselves in a situation where they could steal the end. Tactical error, thinking back to the 10th end of Kim Eun-jung clearing the long center guard instead of the danger stone at the top of the 12-foot.
We both were thinking that when they went out to call. Yeah, the double peel is great, but the danger one is that second one. Here they'll kill one of their stones on the side. See if that comes in. May not, because Italy might use that one on the top of the 8-foot as a little bit of a guard if they need to.
Yeah, at some point you're going to go around that stone if you have to. Not yet, but perhaps on Zapponi's shot. Well, this is Zapponi, but her second shot.
Well, she's top player in the game right now at 93%.
Take one more shot at throwing up a guard and hope for a nose hit or a miss. Again, they'd like this a little bit tighter to the rings than that, but it's on the center line.
It's not going to stand there very long.
Well, we don't know that for sure, do we?
No. If the execution is there, it will be removed.
It's definitely the plan for Korea. Kill the guard. Much cleaner release there from Kim Kyung-ae. You can see the extra focus and concentration not to float this one. Nice shot. Much better throw. We talked about the mental toughness. That was a good example of it right there for Korea. You could just see that little extra bit of focus from Kim Kyung-ae as she released that stone, being very deliberate to throw it clean. Zapponi. Gaspari again calling for a guard. Not going to go around that one in the 8-foot yet. She's going to save that for herself if she has to. That's a much better guard. Great spot.
Again, last of third stones here to peel things off.
Nice shot. Much better execution there from Korea in this end. In the 10th end, Kim Kyung-ae made a double clear and then flashed her second one, but two good clean throws there from the Korean third player.
Italy has called a timeout here. They do get an extra timeout in the extra end. So Soren Gray will make his way down.
This might be the moment to come around that stone on the top of the 8-foot. You could go back 4-foot, no problem. You could even go back at the 8-foot. If you're really conservative, you could just remove the Korean stone, leave yourself lying two.
One way is to make the draw behind now, or play. You can even play the guard. Yeah. Or the guard coming around. Let me play into lie two.
Yes.
Yeah. The only risk you have if you get too short to that yellow, she can play the straight run back, and we have no use of the red one.
Yes.
But we play the guard, she will probably play the guard.
And then
then we can even go around or nose hit the yellow.
In quel caso, la bocciamo e la lasciamo con due.
See, if you want to put the guard a bit closer rings, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. But only a guard, I would say, is okay with me.
Okay.
The center line.
Kind of here?
Not in front of it. Maybe try and center line.
Yes.
Yeah. The same guard again, and then you nose it on the last one.
Okay.
Okay?
I like putting the guard up one more time, knowing that then you have some options, because you put the guard up, I don't think we're going to see Korea go around. I think they'll get rid of the guard, and especially with them lying one at the moment.
Yeah, we got a great listen into the Italian strategy there. Throw one on the center line. If she peels it off, nose hit the Korean stone and make them draw the 4-foot. Or make a hit and then roll away, and then that stone on the wings becomes the winning point.
You want to put the pressure on Korea, continue to do it as you have. See on the scoreboard and behind them. All those points in the second half all belong to Italy.
Amazing. 4 consecutive steals. Can they make it 5 for an improbable victory? This is what Diana Gaspari does. They never quit. They're always hanging around. Comeback. We saw them steal a comeback victory against Scotland earlier in the week. Right on the center line.
Yep.
Perfect.
No surprise. See the peel of the center line. Not a lot of discussion if they should come around, if they thought about it, but
yeah,
I think no risk.
Playing the percentages, but the percentages just haven't been working out for Korea in the second half of this game. Stay in your routine. Play the shot that you'd ordinarily play. You don't need to change it up. You just need to execute better. Execution's been the problem for Korea. It hasn't been the strategy other than that call maybe on the corner clear, on the guard clear in the 10th.
Well, they don't want to leave anything out in front. Give themselves a path. Question is, do you draw around it, or do you hit, try and lie too?
Well, during the timeout, we heard them say nose hit. So I think it's going to be the hit. Either's good. If you make the come around, you're going to have to go behind the tee line to get cover, and that leaves the button open for your opponent. If you hit, you're saying to your opponent, I believe you're going to miss the draw. You haven't been playing that well in the second half. So I'm going to give you a bit of a teaser of an open hit. Come on. Well, nice, easy open hit for the win. Easy.
Two of the steals did come from draws that were missed. 59% for Kim Young-jung on the draws. 79% on the takeout. Diana Gaspari and her team come in at 2 and 3. They've already seen China win, so that moves them to 3 and 3, just out of that top 6.
This would be an absolutely enormous win for Italy if they could pull this one out.
82% on her hits.
Must stick around. Right in the nose.
Nose hit.
Well, here we go. What's it going to be? Hit or draw? It's going to be the hit.
Yeah, didn't even factor in a draw.
So now that stone on the edge of the 12-foot comes into play. If you hit and you roll out of the rings, now you lose the game.
Well, discussion which turn to play, end up going to the in-turn. I think they're looking at the out-turn, that if there's that catcher on the side, but that's a real odd angle to catch on it.
And psychologically, the stone that we saw her miss in 10, even though it was peel away, it was an out-turn. So maybe she's just trying to clear that from her brain and say, I'll throw the in-turn.
And it was an out-turn in 9 as well.
Here we go.
81% on her hits. Needs the hit and stick, and there's the clean. That one will be good. It is enough. They have to go to an extra, but it will go down as a win for Korea. They defeat Italy 8-7. It takes an extra, but what a game. Italy, valiant effort. They'll have to bounce right back. They'll take on Germany this afternoon. Korea will take on China this evening after a hard-fought victory in that one.
Wow, what a game. Relieved smile now.
Well, our feature game, China over Japan, 11-4, as you see the big scores. Well, China, Japan, our feature game. And in the fifth end, after a draw, just missed Tori Kawana. Zhang Yilun, chance to make the double, score a second three of the game. And she does not miss. She nails the double, picks up the triple. And a well-played end by China in the sixth forces Japan and Tori Kawana, the Japanese team, to hit for a single point. No problem for the Japanese skip, but not quite enough as they're trying to battle it back in the second half. But in the seventh, going all out to go for a steal. It didn't work out, and you see all those reds accumulating. Zhang Yilun, opportunity, out-turn draw to their own, 4-4. And that was enough. Japan concedes. China picks up the victory with the 11-4 win over Japan. That was the final on Sheet B. While on Sheet A, we saw the final. It was 8-7. Korea knocks off Italy in an extra. 8-5. Scotland gets win number 1 over Germany. Well, Canada doubles up Denmark 10-5 on Sheet D. And that leaves us with the standings after 9 sessions. Canada, Sweden still atop at 5-0. Korea right behind at 4-1. 3-3 and 2 teams. Czech Republic, Japan, Russia sit there, while China at 3-3. Lurking, as well as Switzerland, US at 2-3, Italy 2-4, Denmark, Scotland with 1 win, and Germany rounds out the field looking for their first victory.
Zhang Yilun, 2 consecutive wins. How do you feel?
江一伦，你现在感受是如何？这场胜利？
觉得现在心态比较放松，然后也通过这场比赛，我们打出了自己的自信。
I think now we are released, and through this game we make great confidence.
You had an amazing comeback win against Russia. Do you feel that gave you momentum for today?
你昨天对那个俄罗斯打出了一场很漂亮的逆转，你觉得对今天是不是有很大的帮助？
是的，但是今天我们只是想把就是一些细节做得更细，然后把我们自己的球打得更好，然后主要这场比赛我们的心态比较放松。
Yes, of course. But today we just want to make better details and do well and control and focus on ourselves. I think maybe we'll do better. Yeah.
Finally, you did amazingly well with last rock today. 2 threes, 1 4-point end. What was your strategy with last rock?
我们这场比赛打得非常好，然后有一个投了3分，还有最后得了4分。你觉得我们在这个策略上，为什么发挥这么好？
主要就是做好自己，然后把自己的每一个球都打好，然后去享受这个比赛，享受这个整个的过程。
Just enjoy the game, enjoy the every stone, and this game we are relaxed. I think we just control and focus on ourselves.
Congratulations and good luck.
Well, China picks up the victory as that wraps up session 9 for Hans Frohenlaub, myself, Luke Coley, and entire crew. Thanks for watching the Ford World Women's Curling Championship.